tonight, 12 for 20 from the field for him. The Blazers 1-10 now on the road this year. And the Utah Jazz getting the win. Here is Donovan Mitchell with Holly Run.
Donovan, 55 assists in the last 2 games for the Utah Jazz. How do you describe what happens to this team when the ball moves like that?
I think the biggest thing, just playing free, going out there, just finding ways to get to the open man. And, we look good the past 2 games, man. That's who we are. We got to continue to do that. And, we're also defending, too, which is huge. So we just got to keep guarding.
I thought you were as locked in defensively tonight as I've seen you all season. 2 steals in the first half, deflections. You were very active. How does that mindset pay off?
Honestly, it's a defense-first mindset. When you come out there, being in the stance, ready to guard, and you got to be ready when you got guys like Anthony, Dame, CJ, so you got to be ready to lock in. But I've just been trying to, focus on that all year. Tonight especially, just being in help side, we're asking the big fellas to be up at the point of the screen. Got to have their backs like they have ours, and we did a good job of that.
It was a great team defense tonight. Dame Lillard just 11 points. What does it feel like when the whole team is locked in on that end?
We're reaping the benefits of our great defense. Continuing to stay locked in, stay engaged, communicate. Biggest thing is just keep talking and communicate, and that's it. We're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as we continue to lock in defense, we'll be good.
All right, you had 30 points, too. I mean, we can't ignore your great offense. It's not that easy to get 30 in the NBA. How were you able to be so effective there?
Just taking my time. Obviously, it's no secret I haven't been shooting the ball well, so just continuing to just trust my work, trust everything I've been doing, and, just nights like tonight are going to continue to happen as long as I can keep putting the work in, and we go from there.
You said you were built for it, and you are tonight. Thanks, Donovan.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, you heard the question about defense because Damian Lillard with just 11 points, C.J. McCollum with 19, and for Utah to get this win, but on the defensive end is where they locked in. When you hear that from Donovan Mitchell, what do you think, Isiah?
Well, you think that they got, a 2-time or 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in Rudy Gobert. So you would hope that his influence would start impacting the team more on the defensive side than the offensive side. I think Utah has come to conclusion, Smitty, with this group that in order for them to advance and get to the finals, they're going to have to become a better defensive team.
I totally agree, Isiah, and I just think, the last few years, they've been on top of the West, but everybody's been saying, can they do it? This year, we haven't really had people talking about Utah. This might be the year. Kind of reminds me of the Milwaukee Bucks. No one was talking about Milwaukee, saying they can't get over the hump, and the next thing you know, they do. We shall see, but it's a tall task because Phoenix and Golden State playing so well, and even though they're not playing well, we can't forget the Lakers. If they do get healthy, they do have LeBron James. So Utah, it's a tall task, but Isaiah's right. Offensively, they're good, but I think defensively they're going to have to be elite to get.
It's a great point. When you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, it's almost as if when the pressure was off, but they also added Drew Holiday, right? And for Utah, what is that piece? Because we know with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, it's kind of like those 2 guys are the Chris Middleton, Giannis in this equation. So who is the Drew Holiday player that takes them to that next level in key situations?
Well, and both of them are offensively. To Isaiah's point, they need somebody defensively because Drew is a 2-way player. Bogdanovich can score and Jordan Clarkson can score. Mm-hmm. But they're not the greatest defensively. Yeah. So then I don't know who is the Drew Holiday for them. They don't have a 2-way guy. I still think if you have to stay with this lineup, I think Donovan has to get off the ball a little bit, let Mike Conley have it more so they can make some more plays. And I think he'll take more pressure off Donovan and he'll be fresher at the end of the games. He just didn't handle it so much.
Yeah, not only will he be fresher, and most of our audience, and people in basketball, when we say fresher, right, they automatically, again, go to the offensive side of the ball. But when you and I are talking about you'll be fresher, that means you'll be able to have more energy on the defensive side. And when your best player is playing defense and he's locking people down and he's playing at a very high level defensively, then everybody else has no excuses. And, that's what some of the great players have always been able to do. When you talk about like that great San Antonio team, you wasn't going at Tim Duncan to get a basket.
Right.
So, Zeke, if a player's trying to get the call up from junior varsity to varsity, to go JV to varsity, you think going 7 for 7 from 3-point range would get you there?
That'll get you there, but if your guy goes 7 for 7 too, then it's a wash.
All right,
Now, if you
because-
go 7 for 7 and your guy go 0 for 7, you definitely going to get called up, and you might get some money, too.
Well, Jonas Valanciunas, they call him JV, but the man is 7 for 7 from three-point range in the first half against the LA Clippers, and the Pelicans up by 19 in the second quarter. Another stat. Golden State Warriors are going to become they are just the second team in NBA history in their first 20 games to not lose a game by 4 or more points. The only other team to do that is Golden State Warriors in 2015, 2016. So what we are seeing in Tuesday night's game on TNT, Smitty, two teams who are playing their best basketball at the very start of the season.
They are, Chris. I just love the approach, especially by their young guys. And then, obviously, both teams are led by their stars. I look at the Golden State Warriors coming to the season, just nitpicking. I said, how can they handle bigs down on the block? And so I think that's going to be a challenge for Draymond and Kevon Looney against DeAndre Ayton and JaVale McGee. And then on the Phoenix Suns side, for me, Chris Miles, I said, love Chris Paul. But who else on that team can make plays for other if you trap and take Chris Paul out of the game? Those are just nitpick things I'm talking about. And then I just want to see both these teams. They got a lot of guys that can just flat out shoot the basketball. And I love Mikal Bridges, how he's playing. And I think the Phoenix Suns has got a little bit deeper as far as Cameron Johnson being able to play, Cameron Payne comfortable, JaVale McGee. And then, you know, Jay Crowder's toughness. This is going to be a good one. But I think JaVale McGee has really got me excited about the Phoenix Suns going forward.
Now, here's the thing about the Warriors, because we see the record and we think, okay, yeah, they're playing great, but Steph averaging a new career high in three-pointers made per game. They are first in assists, first in field goal percentage, first in fast break points, and second in the NBA in scoring. I mean, this might be one of the best groups we've seen from Golden State Warriors in this run that they've had over the past decade.
Well, you know, that Clay and Durant group was pretty damn good, too. I mean, let's
that
not
is the
forget
best, hands down, right?
But the way they're playing is great basketball. And the thing that I'm interested in, you know, Smitty, Chris, is, you know, we really do have two contrasting styles for, you know, the first time in a long time. Most teams we see in the NBA, they all play alike. We have a point guard-driven team with Chris Paul, who's their main distributor. And on the other side of the table, you have a team that really just plays passing game, move, cut, react. And then you have Phoenix that, you know, with Devin Booker, like, you know, similar to DeRozan, you know, the mid-range killer, right? So they're not necessarily playing, you know, analytic basketball, neither one of these teams, even though analytics will count what it is that they're doing. But analytics isn't influencing their styles of play. So when you look at Phoenix and you look at Golden State tomorrow, I'm interested to see now the chess matches between the two coaches, right? You got Monty on the bench, you got Kerr on the bench. How they're going to adjust to see which team can enforce their will, their style of play on the others. And this is an old-fashioned good basketball game we're getting ready to watch.
When they planned the schedule before the season started, I don't know if everyone had this one circled in, but you have it circled now. The Knicks and the Nets, the early game at 7:30. Warriors, Suns, best game of the week. Coverage starts at 6 o'clock with Gametime on NBA TV, of course. That's Tuesday on TNT.